Cop adopted 4 black girls 15 years ago, but how they pay back him is unbelievable. 15 years ago, a police officer named Robert Harris made an unforgettable choice. He adopted 4 black girls from the foster system. Robert, a dedicated cop in a small town, had a heart full of compassion and saw the desperate need for a stable home for these girls, who had been through tough situations and had no family to turn to. What happened next was nothing short of extraordinary. Robert had no idea that these 4 girls would grow up to be highly successful women, each making incredible achievements in their own way. What Robert didn't know was that these girls, now young adults, had been planning something remarkable to show their gratitude to the man who had saved their lives, a man who, in their eyes, was not just their father, but also their hero. How could they possibly repay a man who gave them everything when the world had given them nothing? Robert Harris had always dreamed of having a big family, but life had other plans. As a police officer, he had seen firsthand how the system failed children in foster care, and as he and his wife, Marissa, struggled with infertility, they turned to adoption. When they met the 4 sisters, ages 3 to 9, they knew immediately they had to adopt them. The girls were from tough backgrounds, with no real home to speak of. Robert and Marissa, despite the financial challenges and social prejudices, gave them all the love they could. Raising 4 girls, especially in a small town where they were among the few black families, was no easy feat. They worked tirelessly to provide these girls with everything they needed: a warm home, stability, and a future full of possibilities. The girls thrived in their new home. Tasha, the eldest, always had a strong sense of justice and went on to become a lawyer. Kayla, the second daughter, was a gifted artist with a bright future ahead of her. Brianna, an athlete, dreamed of making it big in track and field, while Alexis, the youngest, was the compassionate soul, with aspirations to work in social services and make a difference in the world. Despite the many challenges they faced growing up, the girls were determined to succeed. Robert and Marissa continued to support them every step of the way, teaching them that no matter their circumstances, they could achieve greatness. But even as they excelled, Robert knew there was still a harsh reality they would face, a world that would often judge them by the color of their skin. As the girls grew older, the challenges they faced became more apparent. Despite their successes, the world was not kind to them. Tasha had graduated law school with honors, but time after time she was rejected from law firms. Despite her intelligence, she couldn't escape the feeling that her race had something to do with it. Kayla, who had studied art and had her work displayed in local galleries, was continually passed over by major institutions. People told her that her style was too bold, but Kayla felt that the real reason was the color of her skin. Brianna's track career also faced roadblocks. Though she was fast and had earned a scholarship to a prestigious university, she was often sidelined or treated differently by her teammates because of her race. Alexis, who dreamed of becoming a social worker, constantly had her abilities questioned. Her professors were dismissive, assuming that she couldn't possibly be as capable as her peers. The microaggressions and subtle racism were undeniable, and Robert, who had always tried to shield them, found himself feeling helpless. Watching his daughters struggle despite their hard work was one of the hardest things Robert had to endure. He had worked tirelessly to provide them with everything they needed to succeed, but society was still failing them in ways he couldn't control. Yet despite all this, Robert refused to let them give up. He encouraged them to keep fighting, to keep pushing forward, even when the world tried to hold them back. Then came the surprise. After years of setbacks, Tasha received a call from a prestigious law firm in New York. They had reviewed her application, and despite her previous rejections, they were offering her a position. But that wasn't the most shocking part. When Tasha went to the final interview, she learned something that left her stunned. The law firm wasn't just interested in her qualifications, they were interested in her father. The managing partner of the firm had followed Robert Harris's career for years. He knew of Robert's dedication to the community and his work as a police officer, especially his commitment to giving a chance to children from disadvantaged backgrounds. The firm had chosen Tasha not only for her accomplishments, but because of her connection to Robert. They knew that Robert's story and his values aligned with their own, and they wanted to hire someone who carried that legacy forward. Tasha's success wasn't just about her hard work. It was about the man who had given her a chance when no one else did. But the surprises didn't stop there. Kayla, too, was offered a solo exhibition by a major art gallery after an influential art collector saw her work. Brianna's athletic career took off when she was invited to train with top coaches, and Alexis landed an internship with a nonprofit organization that had been closely watching her progress. With their futures finally on the right path, the four sisters knew they had to repay their father for everything he had done for them. But the gesture they made left Robert speechless. The girls came together and decided to create a scholarship fund in their father's name. This fund would help disadvantaged children, particularly black children, who had the same struggles they once did. They wanted to make sure that other kids would have the same opportunities they had, regardless of their background or skin color. When Robert found out about the scholarship, he was overwhelmed with emotion. He had never expected anything in return for adopting the girls. To him, their success had been reward enough, but seeing how they had used their success to give back to others was a moment of pure pride. The scholarship fund quickly grew, helping countless children from underprivileged backgrounds get the education they deserved. Robert's legacy, alongside his daughters, would continue for years to come, proving that love and sacrifice could create lasting change. The story of Robert Harris and his daughters is a testament to the power of love, sacrifice, and selflessness. When Robert chose to adopt 4 young girls, he didn't do it for recognition or reward. He did it because he believed in giving them a chance at a better life. What Robert didn't know was that his decision would have far-reaching effects, not just for his daughters but for many others as well. The scholarship they established in his name became a symbol of hope, not only for the girls who once struggled, but for countless other children who now had the chance to succeed. This story teaches us that our actions can have a lasting impact on the world. Sometimes the greatest rewards come not from what we gain, but from the change we inspire in others. Robert's daughters didn't just repay him, they paid it forward, ensuring that their father's legacy would continue to inspire future generations. Ultimately, this is a story about the power of family, resilience, and the undeniable impact of one person's decision to make a difference in the life of another. When we help others, we may not always know how far our influence will go, but the effects can be far more profound than we ever imagine.